the next three presentations. They all kind of go hand in hand. They're all about voice banking technologies, and I think you're going to find them all quite interesting. First up is a presentation on voice banking from Team Gleason, and please welcome Phil Green and Blair Casey.
I can recall in 2012, 2013, my buddy Steve Gleason and his wife Michelle having conversations about Steve's speech. Fortunately, Steve preserved his voice through a voice banking process, and because of that, his voice lives on. My name is Blair Casey, and I'm the Chief Impact Officer of Team Gleason Foundation. Today, we're going to be talking about voice preservation now and in the future. And our thought is, and what we push is, preserve today for access to tomorrow. Team Gleason Foundation was formed in October of 2011, and it has a mission to provide leading-edge technology, equipment, and services while providing and documenting extraordinary life adventures to raise awareness towards ALS and to ultimately find a cure. Steve Gleason is a former Washington State University baseball and football player. He played for the New Orleans Saints from 2000 to 2008, and he'll forever be known for his infamous block punt in 2006 in the Louisiana Superdome after it reopened for the first time since Hurricane Katrina. In 2009, he married his local sweetheart, Michelle Verisco, and they spent the first 6 months of their lives traveling the world until Steve began his master's program in business at Tulane University. January 6, 2011 was the day that Steve was officially diagnosed with ALS, and it was also officially the day that his future began. Steve Gleason often says, until there's a cure for ALS, technology is the cure. And to that end, looking into current voice preservation options, I'm bringing in Team Gleason specialist, speech language pathologist, Emily Corman.
Thank you for that introduction, Blair. I think, like Steve says, technology is the cure. And voice preservation is a beautiful example of how something like this can give an individual living with ALS some control over their disease. I've heard from a lot of the people that I work with that whenever you're diagnosed with ALS, you often feel like there aren't any options, and you might go to clinic and really not have hope for what can I do. But voice preservation gives you that control to go out and do something that will give you back control over this disease. So voice banking is the process of creating a synthetic voice, or that computer code. So for example, someone will read about 50 phrases, and then a voice will be created that can be put on any computer or an iOS or Android operating system, and then it can be used with a communication app to read out anything they type. That way, anything they type that they might not, predict they're going to say will be read out in a voice similar to theirs. But because it is that computer code and it can read anything, it doesn't capture their unique tone and emotion in it. So because of this, we do also what's called message banking. Message banking is really just like similar to if you were to record your speech on your phone and play it back. That's exactly what message banking is. You want to record the phrases that you know you say often and the phrases that you want to sound exactly like you and come out in your exact voice. It's super important for the people around you to also hear what makes you you. So you want to record all of your isms, your phrases to your loved ones, and then those will be played back exactly how you sound. So these messages can be put on communication apps similar to your banked voice, but they will always come out in the exact way that you record them. So for example, if you want to tell your loved one, I love you, or if you want to capture your sarcasm in your voice, you would do that through message banking. This works in conjunction with voice banking. So finally, another method that's more recent is called double dipping. Double dipping is the process of banking 800 messages and then using those banked messages to create a synthetic voice. So this usually results in a better synthetic voice overall, and it also gives you the option of having all of those banked messages and then just skipping over the voice banking process, because you can use those banked messages to create the voice. One of the benefits of double dipping is it allows you to really focus your time on capturing those messages that are so important and so unique to you. And then you can use these messages to create a synthetic voice. So instead of going through the process of voice banking and then going through the process of message banking, you're really only focusing on one and using it for both purposes after. Overall, the process of voice preservation allows you to preserve your identity. With ALS, so many things are taken away. For example, if you're a runner and then you're unable to run anymore, that's a piece of your identity that is difficult to preserve. Or if you love to cook for your family or you love to tell your jokes, all of that is something that is slowly taken away, and it's just so unfair. But with voice preservation, we're preserving that part of your identity, your acoustic fingerprint, or what makes you, you. Voice repair is a process of recording your speech if you already have like mild, moderate dysarthria, and then the company will take out those characteristics of dysarthria. For example, they'll take out the breathy or hypernasal quality of your voice to kind of restore it back to how your voice sounded prior to you getting dysarthria. So, for example, a case that I used this, I had an individual who didn't voice bank because she thought at the time the only option was to record 1,600 phrases, and that was just too much for her. So then when I met with her, we looked through the newer process of voice repair, and then even though she already had moderate dysarthria, she recorded the 150 phrases, and they took out the hypernasality and everything to kind of give her a synthetic voice that sounded like her voice prior to getting ALS.
Since Team Gleason Foundation was formed in 2011, we have fulfilled over 20,000 requests through our program services. And our voice preservation program in particular has received over 2,300 requests from inception. As it relates to voice preservation, our recommendation is to do it as early as possible because you'll have it. And when you have it, you can use it again. While Team Gleason provides the best available, we are working with leaders in the technology industry for the future of access, for the future of independence, and ultimately the future of accessibility. Team Gleason understands voice preservation and understands technology and equipment, but ultimately we understand all these needs because we work with people that have ALS. And here today, to really explain these concepts is Phil Green, Team Gleason's board member, technology advisor, and A-team member.
My name is Phil Green, member of the International Alliances PCAC and ITAC. I'm also a board member of Team Gleason and a person living with ALS since I was diagnosed in August of 2018. In early 2019, I reached out to Team Gleason because I was told by several people, one of which was Steve Gleason himself, that I should make my voice while it was still strong. In the US, Team Gleason is the best resource to get your voice banked at no cost to the person living with ALS. I was given the option to use a cappella or monotalker and was encouraged to sign up for both and use the one that I thought best represented my real voice. I decided to only use a cappella and ended up recording about 1,500 phrases over the period of about a month. I consider myself lucky that over the 3+ years of my ALS journey, my voice is still strong, and I haven't had to use my synthetic voice yet. Over those 3 years, technology has progressed significantly. I am now able to bring my recorded voice files to some exciting new synthetic voice solutions. I may never need to use any of these solutions, but at least I have my voice files that will give me the closest version of my real voice, should I need it. I am encouraging voice banking as early as possible while our voices are still strong, and make sure those voice files are accessible so that we can use them in any solution that may arise down the road. There is only one way for us to keep our true voice. Once our voice is gone, it's gone. My name is Phil Green.
In closing, Team Gleason cannot emphasize enough the importance of preserving your voice today. And ultimately, this same data can be used for access tomorrow. Here today, you have two companies, two leaders in the technology industry that are working on synthetic voices. These two companies, Microsoft and Google, have been working with a patient-first approach to find access to better solutions. And today, they'll be talking to you about what progress has been made and what tomorrow and accessibility has in store with us.
That was a great introduction to voice banking and the information from the speech therapist. I thought that was really fascinating to listen to her perspectives on things. Phil, is there anything you'd like to start out saying or anything to add before we get into the questions?
I just want to reiterate that it's important to utilize whatever access you have today to bank your voice, because like I mentioned in my video, you may never need it, but that's a good thing. But most people end up needing their synthetic voice, and it's better to have them ready to go and in your truest representation of who you think your voice is and who your loved ones remember hearing. And I think that's important. I think the exciting thing for me is, like I said, I banked my voice. I did over 1,500 phrases. I don't even remember what I sounded like, but yet I'm now able to take those files to people like Julie and Bob at Google and Edward and Bernice at Microsoft, and have them utilize my strong voice files to create a new synthetic voice using the latest and greatest technology.
Yeah, absolutely. And that technology is moving forward at a pretty fast pace recently, it seems. Like with acapella, do people still need to do that same number, do you know, or is that gone down?
The number's gone down. It's no longer the month-long commitment that I had, which seemed like climbing a mountain. And as you'll find out from the folks that will be presenting, the numbers are even less than you would imagine to get a really close representation of one's voice utilizing today's neural network voices and technologies.
Do you happen to know if most of those technologies are available primarily in like the United States, in Canada, in the UK? What about countries like South America?
Well, I know that acapella has a lot of international language solutions. I can't speak for Model Talker, but I do know that hopefully when the solutions become available that you're going to hear about, that those will become available to folks around the globe. And they are inherently designed to support all different types of language speakers, not just English.
And finally, the big question is, you said you were willing to do it early on. How do we as allied health professionals, there's a lot of speech language pathologists in the audience here, how do we encourage people? What advice would you give to people who are hesitant or feel like doing this is giving up?
Well, I definitely didn't feel like I was giving up when I did it. I felt like it's almost like paying for insurance. You are doing something that you hope you never have to use. Mm-hmm. But when and if the time comes, then the money or the time invested in recording those messages was more than worth it. So it's insurance just to keep who you are alive, right, through your as authentic a voice as possible.
All right, I think we have to wrap up now. I'm getting that cue. There are some questions if you want to check out the chat. There's some questions about cost and things like that. And people like the insurance analogy.
Yeah, well, I can just say from a Team Gleason perspective here in the US, and I encourage the global community to try to replicate what Team Gleason's built here in the US, because if I were to go out and try and bank my voice back when I was looking to do it, it would have cost me over $1,000. And it cost me absolutely nothing through Team Gleason. So when Blair was mentioning that we've already had 890 or so requests for 2021, those are people that are not going to be paying anything out of pocket to bank their voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is an amazing service that Team Gleason provides. And absolutely, if it can be replicated, that would be fantastic. And if the price comes down, that would be fantastic as well. All right, so I hope you'll stick around, and we're going to watch the next two, right, Phil?
I am.
All right, so with that, we are going to move on to the next on voice banking. And that's Bob McDonald and Julie Cattiau from Google.
Hi, my name is Julie Cattiau. I'm a product manager in Google, and today I will tell you about a project that we recently announced called Project Relate. So the problem we're trying to solve with this research initiative is that speech recognition technology, which is being used, for example, in the Google Assistant or Google Home, doesn't work always very well today for people whose speech is impacted by a condition, for example, ALS. Google doesn't have a lot of examples of what people with different types of speech sound like, which is why the speech recognition technology doesn't work very reliably today. So the very first step of this research effort was to collect essentially what we call training data, so examples of what people sound like. So we started actually the project with Dmitry Kanevsky, who is the person you can see on the slide. He was born and raised in Russia, but became deaf at the age of 1 year old. So he never actually heard himself speak English. As a result, it's quite difficult for other people to understand him when they're not very familiar with his speech patterns. And he also struggles to use products like the Google Assistant with his own voice. So he's the first participant to our initiative and collected several hours of speech samples of his own voice to contribute to the research initiative. After that, we collaborated with ALS TDI in 2018 to start collecting speech samples from people who have ALS, who are interested in participating in this research. And then in 2019, we decided to launched this project a little bit more broadly and announced a crowdsourced data collection program at Google I/O called Project Euphonia. Any individual with speech impairments could sign up and record speech samples in exchange for a cash equivalent gift cards. Over the past few years, we've partnered with many organizations around the world, including Team Gleason, the Canadian Down Syndrome Society, ALS-TDI, and LSVT, to help spread the word about the project and collect some speech samples from a broad range of people. Just a little bit about our data collection initiative. So we asked people to record a set of phrases in a web interface. And the phrases we asked them to record correspond to key use cases of interest that we would like our technology to be able to cover. So for example, using a home automation system, or talking to a caregiver, or having a conversation with someone else. So our progress to date is that 1,000 people around the world who have a variety of conditions such as ALS, cerebral palsy, MS, or Down syndrome have collectively recorded over 1 million speech samples for our data collection program over the past few years, which is great. We're very thankful for all these contributions. And thanks to these audio samples that were collected by these people, we were able to basically do the research that we needed to do and launch an app that can learn to understand someone's unique speech patterns. So this app is called Relate. It's available to trusted testers in early access in the US and Canada. And what you can see on the slide on the right are screenshots of the app. And so the first step to make the app work is actually to record a set of phrases. Once a user has recorded the set of phrases, the app automatically learns to understand their unique speech patterns better. And then 3 different functionalities become available: listen, repeat, and assistant. So I will say a short word about each of these features, and then I'm going to play a video so you can see it in action. So through the listen feature, the Relate app can transcribe speech to text in real time, for example, so that a user can copy paste into another app. And keep in mind that each of those features is fully personalized to a person's speech. Repeat what you've just said in a clear computerized voice. This can be helpful for face-to-face conversation, for example, ordering a meal. Assistant allows users to directly speak to the Google Assistant from within the Relate app to be able to do different tasks, such as setting up a timer, turning the lights on and off, or send a text. Again, all of these features are fully personalized to each individual who records a set of phrases in the Relate app. We're currently looking for trusted testers, and there is an interest form. So I will go ahead and show you the video first, and then I have one more slide with the interest form. So now we're going to watch a short video demoing the app.
Communication is a fundamental human need, and I think it's also a basic human right. I'm Audrey Lee, a brand manager at Google. More specifically, I'm a namer, and it's a lot of fun to say that I'm a professional namer. I have a type of muscular dystrophy that affects the way I speak. I have always loved making new friends, but when people can't understand me at first, they have trouble getting to know me. It's as if there's an invisible barrier between us. I believe technology can help bring down that barrier.
My name is Cattiau. I'm a product manager at Google in the research team. Project Relate started in 2018 when we realized that our speech recognition technology could be improved to help people with speech impairments be better understood. Standard speech recognition doesn't always work as well for people with atypical speech because the algorithms have not been trained on samples of their speech. So we decided to create an app that would be custom trained on individuals' unique speech patterns.
We named the app Relate because of what it enables you to do.
To use the app, the first step is to record a set of phrases so it can get to know how you speak. The Relate app has 3 built-in features: Listen, Repeat, and Assistant. Listen transcribes everything you're saying in real time.
So I have a custom voice model now, and
Repeat repeats what you've just said in a clear computerized voice.
next is having hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate.
Ah, gotcha.
Thank you.
Assistant connects directly with your Google Assistant.
Take a selfie.
Okay, get ready.
I hope I live to see the day when disabled people can move through the world and accept the same level of connection as everyone else has. I think Project Relate is bringing us closer to a better future.
So as mentioned, we are looking for testers for the Relate app. It's currently only available upon invite, but anyone can sign up to express interest at g.co/project relate. So please feel free to share that link with anyone who might have an interest in using this mobile application. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation, and please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much. I will wait and see if people can put their questions in the Q&A. And somebody's already put that link up, because I think we certainly have people in our audience today who would love to volunteer for this particular project. This really is an interesting and exciting project. I have a question to start out, unless there's anything you guys want us to add quickly before we get into questions. So I know it picks up on somebody's speech. And what about the issue with people with ALS, MND, where their speech changes over time?
Yes, thanks for this question, Sarah. That's a great question. So as of today, we have actually a lot of trusted testers with ALS who have been using our app, some of whom speech has changed over time. So the app requires at least 250 examples to work. And so for now, the best way would be to re-record additional examples if the voice has changed. We don't yet have the technology in place to continuously adapt to someone's speech. So I think that the right way to do this is that if the recognition is not accurate anymore, the right way is to re-record additional examples. For now, that's the way we're doing it with trusted testers. And that's a topic that we're studying. It's a research avenue, basically, that we're trying to pursue, how to adapt over time. Yeah, but we're not quite there yet.
Right. Might have been something you weren't expecting.
Oh no, yeah, that's definitely top of mind for us, actually.
So how many phrases did you say somebody has to record? Was it
250, and they're all prompted. So basically, it's a matter of reading phrases on cards. And yeah, so we estimate that this takes anywhere between 15 to 45 minutes, and it can be done over as many days as needed. And once this work is done, now the app should work. In certain cases, it can require a little bit more data. It depends actually on the user's particular speech patterns. So we're working with each individual kind of separately to try to get the best possible outcome.
Mm-hmm. Is there a cost to this?
The app is for free. Yeah, it's available for free, if that's your question. But it requires an Android device, so that these are not free, obviously.
It is an Android. It is not iOS.
For now, yes, that's right.
One other thing to mention, Julie, at the beginning of that, described some of the research that has powered the Project Relate app development, which was this crowdsourced data collection program. That's not Android only. That program, an important difference is you won't get an app when you're done recording, but you will actually get paid for the recordings that you do that help advance this kind of research. So for example, we've had a number of people who've contributed their voice samples over many months or even across a few years. That's the kind of data that helps us advance the research that Julie alluded to for ways to more effectively track changing voices and see what we can do. So again, that's not a product, that's really just for empowering researchers to make future products better.
Okay, so if somebody wants to actually help with this project and read the phrases and help with the research, they don't need to have the Android device. They can do it outside of that.
Exactly, that's right.
Well, I actually think we have somebody volunteering in our chat already. Let me see. Oh, somebody, is it in English only?
Yes, that's correct. For now, the Relate app is only available in English. In the future, we hope to expand to more languages as well.
And where do you see the development going then from here? Do you see it being used for other devices that you have to speak to? Is that where the future is looking?
Yeah, so do you mean devices like voice-enabled devices?
Google Home, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So there's already a functionality in the app where you can add a hot word when you speak, where, for example, the app on your behalf can say, I don't know, hey, Alexa, and then, repeat what you just said in a clearer voice that Alexa might better understand. So we're already experimenting with that, but yes, certainly in the future, we're hoping that the model that we're building for each user can be used in other products and other devices. We're not quite there yet. So for now, it can only be used in the Relate app. But yes, that's certainly the hope for the future.
All right, you have at least another minute if there's anything else you would like to add to the discussion. I think it's really exciting because of the difficulty that people have, of course, with the speech, and it's almost like a translation where they speak to it and then it can speak out in a clear message to whoever they're trying to communicate with. That's fantastic. I mean, we talked about communication, how important it is. Oh, people are asking for it in different languages, so that could be in your future. And
absolutely,
people are just saying thank you. All right, so we will wrap this one up.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Again, very exciting technology. I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. Hope you'll present again next year. All right, so the last one on our voice banking presentations are Bernice Yu and Edward Ng from Microsoft.
Hi, I'm Bernice Yu, General Manager at Microsoft, working on commercial business strategy. I am also a PALS, person living with ALS. I'm excited to be here today, together with my colleague, Edward An, Senior Program Manager at Artificial Intelligence and Platform, to talk to you about our voice technology, Microsoft Custom Neural Voice. In the presentation today, we will share the tech, demonstrate its capabilities, and also share the potential benefits to PALS. I feel so blessed to work at Microsoft and get to live our company mission every day. And that is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. I get to do it through collaborating with our product engineering and research teams to work on assistive technology projects such as eye gaze experiences and voice banking tech. And as a PALS, this is especially meaningful to me. Before we start, I just want to say we truly value your insights and feedback. So please post your thoughts in the chat window and we will have Q&A at the end. And now I'll turn over to Edward.
Thank you, Bernice. My name is Edward An, and I'm Program Manager of Text-to-Speech at Microsoft. And I'm very excited to be able to share the work that we're doing in synthetic voice at Microsoft and how we can apply to voice banking. Text-to-speech has been around for many years. And when I say text-to-speech, I always also use the term synthetic voice. And ever since people built computers, we always want to make the computer speak. And you probably have seen old footage of computers speaking in a very robotic voice. Well, we have come a long way. And with the recent breakthrough in AI and neural network, we can actually make voices, synthetic voice that sounds very natural. There are voice that sounds just like a human voice. Let me tell you some examples. The first one is a traditional text-to-speech.
I live at and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
As you can hear, it's a little bit robotic. Next, I will play you the human voice.
I live at and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
And next, this will be the latest neural text-to-speech voice.
I live at 9th Avenue and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
You can probably hear it sounds very, very natural and just like the human recording. Traditional text-to-speech usually takes a lot of training data, as many as 10,000 utterance in order to build a voice model. And even that, it might not sound very natural. But with the recent breakthrough, with the neural TTS, now we can actually only use as little as 300 lines of training data, and you can make a voice that sounds very natural. So at Microsoft, we built this as a commercial service where we offer synthetic voice for our customers, mostly business customers, be able to build their application using these synthetic voices. We have pre-built voices, but we also have this service called Custom Neural Voice, where our customers are able to build branded voice that's suitable to their own use case, either making a voice that sounds like their brand and a voice that can be applicable to their applications. This is a commercial service for our business, and we have it available on a self-serve portal where they can upload the data and train the model themselves. because of the sensitive nature of this technology, we call it as a limited access service. So business who want to use this, they will have to apply through this form. So let me play you some examples. Here, I will have on the left side a human recording, and then I will also play the corresponding synthetic voice. So let's hear the first one.
It's unlikely to rain, it's not windy, and it's a bit warmer than yesterday. Can you decide from there?
That was the recording, and now let me play the synthetic version.
It's the ultraviolet index. It tells you how strong the UV is on any particular day. It goes from 1 to 11, where 1 is low. Here in the UK, would be the highest.
So let me play another example. By the way, these are all from our colleagues at Microsoft doing these examples.
A report of inspections will be sent to the Security Council next week.
So that was the recording. And now...
You're very welcome. I hope to see you again soon.
Synthetic. Next one, we have a colleague who wants to act as a cricket commentator. So he is acting in this recording, and let's see how it sounds like.
J. Bumrah to M. Stoinis, no run, swing and a miss. Stoinis swings at the off-cutter from Bumrah, but fails to get any connection with the bat.
So that was his acting in recording, and now this is a synthetic version.
It's Broad edged. Good ball by Broad outside off. Mustard has a go at it and ends up edging it to the second slip, where the ball just falls short of root.
Yeah, so I hope you can hear the quality of our voices, and this service has been out for a number of months now, and a lot of our customers are using it for their business applications. So next, we want to talk about how we are using this custom new voice that can be applied to voice banking. And for the past few months, we have been working with Bernice and figuring out what we can do to apply to the this new application. So just like our commercial custom new voice, if our customer wants to create a voice, they would hire a voice talent, and they will invite the voice actor to go to a recording studio to record. So similarly, we invited Bernice to go to our recording studio and record, in this time, about 500 lines of recording. So let me play some samples, just a couple samples of the recording that we collected from her in the studio.
He was acquitted of 18 other charges.
So that's the first one, and then another recording sample.
They can be something as small as a marble or as big as a tree.
So we, just like that, we collected about 500 lines, and then we use it to train the model. And not only that, after the model is trained, and we make it available to be downloaded on the device so that she can use it offline. So let me play some samples of the model playing on the device on the offline mode.
New research looking at surgical masks lends support to their use to prevent virus particles from spreading into the air.
Right, so next one.
Credit card related schemes have been on the rise since the pandemic began.
So it sounds great. I think it sounds just like Bernice, and so we're excited. And let me go to the next slide.
I love that voice. It sounds just like me. Though I love it, I have to say 500 lines, probably still too much, especially for pals. Also, I think instead of going to the studio to record, it will be much easier if I can do that at home. So I share the feedback with Edward and the team. And what you see on the slide here is a screenshot of a tool that they are working on. And this is amazing. With this new tool, I can now only do 20 to 50 lines. That's much easier. Also, this is an online recorder I can do at home. It has quality control embedded. So as you can see, it will tell you whether your pronunciation, volume, etc. are good. You can just do over if the quality is not good. So I went ahead and I recorded 32 sentences. Some are not of so good quality. Still, I trained a model. And now let's hear the recording. My voice first.
She has been married and divorced twice. I'm really going to miss this place.
And now the synthetic voice.
It will gratify some people and astonish the rest. Friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience. This is the ideal life.
Wow, I'm so impressed. 32 lines. This is awesome. And there's another capability I'm also so excited about. That is the cross-lingual capability.
Yeah, so before we wrap up, I want to mention that in a custom new voice commercial service, we have a new feature called cross-lingual, which allows our customers to train with one language, record one language of recording, and then they can train the model of multiple languages. So here, let me show you the example. So we use the training sample of Bernice, one of those 500 lines that we recorded her on the studio, and trained two models, one that she can speak in Chinese, and then the other one that she can speak in French. So let me play some samples. So first one is the recording. You probably heard.
He was acquitted of 18 other charges.
So that was the recording in the studio. And now here the sample of the Chinese model.
谢谢你的招待，饭菜很可口。
And now the next one is the French.
Merci, monsieur. Je reviendrai sûrement après-demain. Au revoir.
So we think that this feature will also be useful for pals, because they might be able to speak another language to someone that might be able to understand the language in their own voice.
I'm so excited about the potential of custom neural voice for voice banking, and I hope you are excited too. If your organization is interested, you can check out custom neural voice on the link here. This is the commercial on the cloud model that's currently available to the public. We also love collaboration opportunities and to work with users in the community. So if you have any suggestions or feedback, please reach out to us anytime. And then to close, I would like to conclude and say something using my synthetic voice. So this is a text-to-speech tool our engineering team developed. So let me finish typing. Let me just say,
I am hopeful that custom neural voice will one day help pals to communicate, express, and connect with others in the way they like. I am excited to talk to my mom in her native language.
thank you. And now we'll have some Q&A.
Thank you. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that is really exciting technology. I think the cross communication, cross-lingual piece is really going to be a game changer for a lot of people. For Bernice, you mentioned that in your final piece there. I would have liked to have heard that in Chinese.
Yeah, so my parents speak Mandarin, so if one day I have to use synthetic voice, I definitely want to be able to talk to them. And just to mention the custom neural voice model is available in 30 to 40 languages. So a lot of the languages are covered already today. Yeah. And then on top of that, we can do cross-lingual as well.
So they can record it in their own language. It does
Yes.
not have to be recorded in English.
Yes. They can record in 30 to 40 their native languages today. And then on top of that, they can choose to do their cross-lingual.
Sure.
If they choose to.
I have to say kudos to Microsoft for, listening, and kudos to you, Bernice, for giving your input. I think when you were first describing that you had to come into the facility and into that room, I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And then you very quickly cleared that up, so that it's nice that you're being listened to and it's still working. It works very well.
I think kudos to Edward and the engineers. They are the brains. I don't know how it all works, but I'm just glad that they have focused on this.
Yeah, we are very excited that we are able to apply our technology for such use. And as we mentioned in the presentation, this is a commercial service, but we know that this service can be applied for voice banking. And so that's why we're excited to be able to apply that. Currently, we are still in testing phase and looking into how we can actually roll out this service.
Okay, so that means there'll be a cost then to the service?
Yeah, so right now this service is offered as a commercial service for business, but we are actively working with nonprofit organization to see how we can offer the service to them. And so we will look for ways to be able to support that.
Okay. And you are looking for testers now, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
The people raising their hand in the Q&A.
Yeah. The cross-lingual, so we think that there are several improvement that we can apply to voice banking. One is what we described on the ability to not requiring so many lines, like from 20 to 50 lines, to be able to create a voice that sounds very natural. So that's one. And the other one is to be able to have the voice model be run on device. And then the cross-lingual is something that we offer today already in the cloud for commercial. And we are looking into how important this is also people apply for voice banking. So that's something that as we showed, able to create a voice of Bernice that can speak multiple languages. We only show 2 languages. In fact, we can actually create models of her speaking many other languages as well if she wants.
Excellent. Now there is a question about the like voice repair. So if somebody is already moderately affected with their voices, is there a way to clean that up, or can it?
Yeah, I mean, I think in those cases we have to look at it case by case. Right now, our technology is able to have the machine learning to learn the voice of the recording, and so if we can clean up that will definitely help. And so I mean, we will have to take a look. There's something that's why we want to have more testers to be able to see how far we can do with our technology.
Excellent. So any idea when this will be available then?
Yeah, we are working on it. It's not a research project. It is a service that we are actively working to bring to the market. So we're not talking about 3 to 5 years. It will be much shorter than that. So stay tuned. I can't promise anything, but it will be in the short term that we want to be able to roll it out.
It is really exciting. It's amazing. I know, you know, just listening to Phil earlier talking about voice banking and the amount of time he had to do, and then looking at this, the technology is just moving forward. Bernice, have you tried it on your mother?
Not yet. I need, that's a good reminder. I will do it tonight.
Call your mom.
Yeah. I do call her every week, but I need to try. Yeah.
All right, let me see. Are there any other questions? Is there anything else that I don't see any other questions. Is there anything else that you would like to add on the end here? And we have about 1 minute.
So please send us emails, Edward and I. So yeah, so if you have questions, ideas, feedback, testing opportunities, just let us know. Thank you. It's great to work with the community.
All right. Thank you both. Another fantastic example of technology moving forward and making a difference in people's lives.